So today I'm going to be showing you how to properly manage leads, especially if you're using things like ClickFunnels. This is an incredibly useful method to separate the wheat from the chaff. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get stuck in. So in our typical fashion, let's first take a look at a simple demo of how the system works. And then we're going to take a look at how I've set up the database. And from there, we're going to take a further look at how to set up the automation. This time around, I'm going to go fairly deep into how I've set up the automation in Make. And if you want, at the end, you can always purchase the scenario in the link down below. You don't really necessarily have to, but it's a quick little shortcut so that you don't have to set up everything step by step as I'm going to show you. So let's take a look. First and foremost, we have a bunch of opt-ins. Supposedly, those opt-ins come through your ClickFunnel where you might have multiple opt-ins. So these are opt-ins for a variety of business courses like a mastermind course or the straight line system course. What I want to do is I basically want to process each opt-in and then find out which tags AI decides to apply. Here also we'll see the reasoning behind each applied tag. So, and often it will also tell us why certain tags were not applied because each funnel has its own tags, as you'll see. But let's just press process and let's see what happens. Now the system is working and we should see the tags being applied here shortly. Here we go. So let's take a look. We can see that it has applied one tag, the general mission tag, and let's see why. So the mastermind course, like the opt-in qualified tag, does not meet criteria like for this tag as they are not earning more than 5K a month. Let's take a look at what the tags actually say. So as you can see, my list of tags basically has got some AI logic. And this AI logic is incredibly straightforward. There's not much to this. I'm just telling the system what, where, and how I want the tag to be applied. So for instance, we have a general admission tag and a qualified tag. The general admission tag is for anyone who opts into our mastermind course. Simple. This tag should be applied for banker clients who opt into our mastermind course, who are also employed and earn more than 5K a month. So like a very specific qualification, right? And then we have similar stuff for the straight line funnel. Let's take a look at some of the next ones. So here for Mike J, mastermind course banker earns more than 5K. The system should apply 2 tags. There we go. And of course it has, and it has given us the reasoning. The contact is a banker, employed and earns more than 5K a month. They are part of the general admission. Let's see about the entrepreneur. So the only different thing here is that he's got a different job. So let's process this one. And here the system should apply just 1 tag. Excellent. The contact is an entrepreneur, not a banker, therefore does not meet the criteria for this tag. Perfect. And last but not least, let's go ahead and process this guy. He should get both tags, if I remember correctly. So here we go. Yes, he did indeed get 2 tags. Oh, the straight line system has got a 3rd tag, which is for sales. Perfect. So you can see how the system basically makes sure that only the right tags are being applied. Now, let's take a look at how I've set up the database in order for this thing to run. All right, so picking up from where we left off, we have our tables here. The only table that is not being used right now is sales, but as you can imagine, my table structure is incredibly simple. I have my list of clients with my client names, my link to opt-ins, my link to sales, first name, last name, email, and phone. And I also have some hidden fields that are a little bit irrelevant because essentially they are from a different project. Then you have opt-ins. Essentially every opt-in is linked. Well, let's begin at the beginning. Every opt-in has got a name, which is basically the word opt-in space pipe space and then the client name. Simple, right? Nothing really crazy. Then we have the link to the client. Then we have a simple checkbox. Then we have the link to our funnels table. Again, only just one funnel at a time because typically your opt-ins will be against a single funnel. You have the job, supposedly you're collecting that during the opt-in process. And then we have the monthly income. Again, just a simple single select, just like the job. And then we have tags, which is a link to our tags table. And you can, of course, link to multiple tags. And then a simple text field for applying said tags. We also have some hidden fields. Essentially, we have the name from the funnel, which is really important. So make sure that you include that in your database structure as well. We also have some hidden fields, which are like first name, last name, email, and phone. Other hard-coded things, basically, that you would be collecting from your opt-in. But for now, they are not really useful. And that's basically that in terms of opt-ins. Funnels, again, super simple, just a name, simple text, mastermind course, straight line system course, and then just the links back to sales, back to opt-ins, and back to tags. Then in tags, again, just like a simple name, really nothing's going on here. The only interesting thing about this, actually, let me just make this quick point. Here, I'm basically saying that, look, I'm trying to keep a convention going, right? There's the name of the funnel, the type of data submission, opt-in or sale, and then we have the kind of like the name of the tag itself. So like general admission or opt-in qualified, right? Then I also have a tag ID, and this is for cases where you might be using some external marketing platform like ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or something like that, that may be using tags in order to trigger processes, basically. So yeah, tag ID, that is the tag ID from that external system. Then we have opt-ins, just a link to the opt-ins, link back to the funnels. We also are fetching the name from the related funnel. And again, I'm linking each tag to each related funnel so that it's a little bit easier to kind of make your list of potential tags smaller so that they're at least limited to that funnel. When you get, in other words, an opt-in from the mastermind course funnel, you only really are looking at the tags for that particular funnel. And then depending on the type of data submission, opt-in or sale, and whether or not they are qualified or not, the system basically can then decide from a much smaller list of tags. Especially useful if you have loads of funnels, loads of tags. What else is there? We also have the related name from the funnel, just a lookup basically of the name, and then some AI and logic, which is basically us telling AI when should said tag be applied. And again, I'm just using normal, natural language here. Nothing really crazy. I'm not trying to stick to any conventions. So now, let's take a look at how the automation is set up. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you probably know that I'm a huge fan of triggering processes from Airtable via a webhook into Make. This time is no different. We're using exactly the same mechanism as we've been using forever, which is we have a trigger. We use the automations in Airtable to basically match against that trigger. So when a record matches conditions and the process checkbox is checked, then we run our very much favorite script where all you will have to do is just switch this webhook with your own, as I'm going to show you now. And just don't forget to create an input variable like so, record_ID. Make sure that you follow the capitalization of this to the T. And then also don't forget to map the variable of the Airtable record ID in. Once you're done, finish editing and turn this automation on. Then the automation triggers. It will pass the record ID of that opt-in from here where we press process. In fact, let's run the automation once so that we see what happens live. And now the automation is basically waiting for a payload to come through. There we go. It's now using AI to determine which tags to use. And then finally, we have an output right at the end. Let's see what exactly happened. So we have our record ID that's come through here. We fetch that opt-in. And this is our first opt-in, I believe, right, for this guy. Then what we have, and again, the mapping here is very straightforward. I'm just basically mapping the record ID from step 1 into step number 2, which is just fetching the opt-in record itself, right? And then I have a little filter that basically makes sure that the job exists and the monthly income exists, because if it doesn't, then it creates issues. So following that, I have a quick little search of tags. And this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier on, where I'm making sure that my list of tags is limited only to the funnel of the opt-in that just came through. So yeah, the name from related funnel in the tags equals the name from the funnel from step number 2. And yeah, that's basically it. Then we have an interesting little text aggregator that aggregates our tag texts into this particular convention. We are using the source as module number 3. The row separator is set to other, with the separator being a comma. Then we have the naming convention, which basically goes name and then the name of the tag ID from module number 3, Airtable record, the ID from the Airtable record, the related funnel, and the criteria for when to apply this tag, which is like the AI logic field that we need to add. From there, here's where the magic happens. OpenAI. We need to create a little prompt that goes something like this. First of all, create a chat completion, then use one of the most recent models. You can use ChatGPT 4 or you can use ChatGPT 4 Turbo. Doesn't really matter. I'm just using ChatGPT 4 for now. Then we have our messages. First message, role, system, and just make sure that it says something along the lines of, yeah, you basically want to praise the AI and make sure that it feels nicely about itself. And just, yeah, marketing manager, 20 years of experience, yada, yada, yada. Then we have the user, and this is our command to the AI. So here we are giving it the funnel, and then we're matching the name of the funnel from step number 2. Then we have the opt-in data submitted by contact, job, monthly income from module number 2. Then we have the potential tags to apply, and this is the text that we just compiled from module number 4. So response in desired formatting. And you can see how I'm formatting my response. Tag 1 applies yes or no, then a space, double dash space, the tag name. Same thing. I'm basically creating the desired formatting for the response, and I'm basically using a double pipe as a delimiter for each individual tag set. Then I'm providing it with the mission. So given the funnel name, opt-in data submitted by the contact, blah, 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 provide me with a double pipe separated list of tags as per the above expected formatting. Then I'm basically telling it, hey, if the tag applies, tell me yes or no, because even when a tag doesn't apply, I still want to know. I still want to understand how ChatGPT thinks about a certain tag, although I'm applying only the stuff that is a yes. I'm basically telling it to justify itself because we want to make sure that it's doing a great job. And last but not least, I'm telling it to do not add any conversational language, any comments, any remarks, and that this is basically a transactional exchange. That's that. Also, my temperature is set to 0.1 because I really want a succinct, to the point response. I don't want it to be creative in any way. Then, the next thing that I'm doing, I am basically splitting the responses like so. The choice from module number 5, split by the double pipe. Then I'm creating a little filter here that basically says that the first piece of that data should always be yes. In other words, its decision should always be either yes or yes with like a capital yes. And then what I'm doing, I'm basically setting up a quick little variable. So this variable, I'm basically extracting the piece of the data that from that string that OpenAI gives me from here. I need to extract this record ID because that's the record ID of the tag. So because I want to use it later on to apply said tags to that particular opt-in. And this is literally what it does. As you can see, it takes that particular piece of string and then finally creates a little array from that, even if it's only one. Then I'm finally at the home stretch, I'm just going to update my record in a couple of ways. First of all, you have to map the record ID, right? You need to make which record to update. And that is the record from module number 2, the record ID from module number 2. So make sure you map that in. Next, we have the tags to apply. So tags applied, and you just need to make sure that you map it like so. Because I've called my variable A, I need to actually map it so that it creates a pure array of record IDs and not like a collection. If you don't know what any of this was, never mind, just follow this and you should be just fine. Tag applied, just like so. Then reasons for applying tags. And what I'm doing here, I'm replacing the double pipes with a new line so that when the responses come through, they are a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to understand, like this. And yeah, that's basically it. There's not much else. Press OK and save it, and you're golden. So that's it, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, do subscribe to the channel now, and make sure that you ring that bell or click on that ring. Anyway, you know what I mean, so that you don't miss any future uploads. If you want me to do more content on ClickFunnels and AI and Airtable, do comment down in the comments section down below, and I'll do what I can. That's it from me for now. My name is Alex, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.